Now let's move on to the spicy stuff. The
Ooh,
juicy.
so spicy.
Spicy. The penultimate episode of DEVS, episode 7. Holy fuck! Oh my god.
I
say it every week. This is the best episode.
it just keeps getting better.
Keeps on giving. So, spoilers the rest of the way. Spoiler-free section is over.
Spoiler alert.
Go fucking
alert.
watch DEVS, catch up, come back here.
Warning, Will Robinson.
The finale drops tomorrow. I know we dropped this late, but it's just timing of when we record our podcast. We still have to wait Sundays for Westworld, so sorry. But
yeah,
we're lagged a week behind because of DEVS, because they weirdly decided to release it on Thursdays. Who the fuck does that? I've never seen a show do that.
What, shows do that? All the shows come out every day of the week. We just happen to always watch HBO. That's is like
true.
Sunday night.
The premiere TV is usually Sunday night HBO stuff. Whatever. Yeah. So spoilers, you have been warned. This is heavy spoiler ones too, because previous weeks you might have not even understood what we were saying, talking about the science and stuff. But this is heavy spoilers. So enough. Last week, I sat here with the utmost confidence that I had figured this out.
Oh, no.
And my world was quickly shattered.
No, sir.
Very quickly shattered. And you ended the podcast with saying, I had some good points. You were like, I hope you're right, but I hope you're wrong.
Yeah.
And I was wrong.
Yeah, we are wrong. Our Linden theory is out the window, but
Gone.
I'm not mad about it, honestly.
Poor Linden. So let's talk. There's a few things
oh, poor Linden.
I want to talk about, right? So what I was saying last week was that I believed Forrest was wrong, that Linden was going to be right, that the multiverse is what really existed and determinism was not.
Right.
Right. Out the window. I don't even know anymore. And here's why. So to start things off, the first scene with Forrest and Katie, he finally explicitly says what I've been kind of hinting at or saying for weeks, that Forrest and Katie have vigorously studied these days that we're watching in the show.
You definitely caught on to that a little more than I did. Like, you've been saying that for several weeks, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
as soon as the Linden thing happened, I was like, they know everything. Their mannerisms, their dialogue.
Yeah.
It's all scripted.
Yeah, you've been saying, like, yeah, they've been studying the future.
Right. Their actions are just completely, like, meticulously orchestrated.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. So now I'm holding on to that Frisbee scene that I saw, the way he was catching it. So great job again by Nick Offerman. I'm mentioning it because although this was more likely than not, it was still up in the air due to the fact that we didn't know if we were in the multiverse playing field or in this deterministic reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we were in the multiverse theory, then what they studied may not happen, right?
So if you believe in the multiverse, determinism isn't a thing. Is that correct?
Yes, I think, I forget, it's Everett theory or this theory, but it's like one or the other.
Okay.
Right? Because to be deterministic, it would mean that there is only one inevitable outcome due to the cause that preceded it.
Right.
But the multiverse is
there's multiple outcomes.
Are unlimited possibilities from each action. So then that would mean that there is not one definitive effect.
Okay.
Right? There's multiple effects.
Right.
That's why Forrest hates it.
Right.
Oh,
true.
To me, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong explaining this, but this is how I understand it, that there can't be both.
Right.
Linden was trying to say we could use both.
Okay.
To simulate, projections of our world or whatever it was.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. We still don't know. We still don't know which one's true.
No, we don't.
We don't. And we don't know that because of two things that happened in this episode, right? One, the scenes and conversation with Stuart, and two, what happened to Linden. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Stuart first.
Okay.
Stuart and the other DEVS members, who I don't think we've seen since like the first episode, some of them.
Yeah.
They're using Linden's algorithm with the many worlds on the DEVS machine to simulate past events, like hieroglyphics. That was
an insane intro too, by the way. Like,
yeah. So then Stuart flips the machine to go 1 second into the future of exactly them sitting in the room, which is completely daunting.
Yes.
And so they can see on screen 1 second of their future actions, and even though they're watching it, they can't stop themselves from doing it.
Right.
Which is, look at this.
I know.
Look at his hair standing up on my elbows. If you watch this on YouTube,
they were like, Stuart, that's fucked up.
So, yeah.
And it is fucked up.
They can't stop them.
Stuart's scared. He's
Terrified.
like, what the hell have
All
we
of them.
done?
The other guy, the white dude, I don't even know his name, was like, turn that shit off.
Yeah.
Like,
well, because they were sitting there
off.
watching the past and they were saying, I can't remember exactly what they said, but they were saying something like what they're doing isn't that bad or whatever. And Stuart was like, oh, yeah? Oh, okay, let's watch this. And then that's when he put the couple second projection on and everybody's like
Right.
losing their shit.
And on top of that, so the conversation with Stuart, as Forrest is walking into DEVS, it's kind of what you're saying, because he reiterates to Forrest after this cryptic poem that we still haven't really figured out.
Well, yeah.
Somewhat. We'll get into it. But he explains to Forrest how the machine already works because of Lindens Theory, basically saying to him that we got to here by ignoring you, saying that you, like, basically what I was saying last week, like, you're wrong. Multiverse does exist. That's why I'm sitting here confused. I'm like, which one is it? And like you just said, the other guys didn't think they were doing anything wrong. Stuart recited a poem that Forrest could not guess who said it. Is how I took it, cryptic stuff aside, was Forrest isn't studying the past, because that's what Stuart is saying. Like, how could you not know? Yeah, and him showing the 1 second future projection to the team was like, they're not looking at anything in the past other than his daughter. They're literally just looking at the future.
Yeah.
Or that's where their attention is. Do you want to get into the poem?
So, right. Stuart recites this whole poem, and Forrest wouldn't even guess who said it. Wouldn't even attempt. No. And that kind of annoyed Stuart. So, in case you were wondering, the poem is by Philip Larkin, and it's called Obad.
Not by Shakespeare.
Yeah, so Katie
like Katie
says...
also guessed, which is weird.
Very weird.
Her not knowing something is weird.
Very, very weird. Yeah, her being incorrect about something was interesting.
See, that to me, that's like the multiverse thing again. The universe that she was watching, he recited a Shakespeare poem. But now in this reality, he recited a different poem.
Or did she just not even watch that?
Yeah, I don't... It's that day, though. You know they know
right, yeah,
that
they do
day,
know that day. So, yeah, it
inside
is...
and out. So how could they get that wrong?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Maybe Stuart saw what he was supposed to do that day and was like, I'm going to fuck them up. Like, I don't know.
So the poem is basically about death and how it's inevitable for literally everyone.
Right.
So, you know, it seems like is this kind of like a warning to Forrest. You are not this godly figure who you kind of think you are. You will die just like the rest of us.
Right.
It's interesting because Obad its literal meaning is a mourning love song. And so
a mourning, like good morning, or mourning like death?
Like mourning as in like the beginning of the day.
Okay.
And it makes sense because in the poem, this was actually the writer of this poem wrote this after his mother passed away. And it talks about how he wakes up, drinking the nights away, and he wakes up in the middle of the night, laying there, realizing that he's basically laying in his deathbed, like he will die one day, it's inevitable. But then like at the end of the poem, it says slowly light strengthens and the room starts to take place, and it starts talking about this new day coming. And I haven't analyzed poetry since college, so I like didn't I don't know. I'm not gonna get like super into this. If you want to go read the poem, you can. Obad by Philip Larkin. I mean, he recites the entire poem. It's kind of long, so you kind of honestly, I kind of lost him a little bit during the episode.
There's more cryptic meanings behind it, but overall, it's a warning sign to him.
Right. And then what I found very interesting, and maybe this is why Katie thought he was reciting Shakespeare, possibly, because as Forrest is as Forrest is walking away, Stuart says, "Who was Mark Antony? Guess, Forrest." And Forrest just keeps walking. So right off the bat, I looked up Mark Antony and Shakespeare, and there's a Shakespeare play called Antony and Cleopatra. So I don't know if that's maybe where Katie put the Shakespeare together. I'm not sure. However, Mark Antony is a ancient Roman figure. He worked alongside Caesar, Julius Caesar, and I'm kind of taking this as maybe Stuart is either comparing himself to Mark Antony and Forrest to Caesar, and that because Mark Antony kind of just blindly followed Caesar, just kind of like allowed him to do all the things that he was doing, didn't really realize how bad the stuff was that he was doing.
And by the way, you want a good show about that? Real quick footnote. Old HBO show Rome. Watch it. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I need to watch that. I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I watched it while it was coming out when I was in 8th grade. I probably shouldn't have been.
That's why I haven't watched it.
But my parents, didn't care about rated R mature stuff. I was playing GTA when I was in diapers, so it's phenomenal.
Or it could be that Stuart is saying Forrest is Mark Antony and Katie is Julius Caesar.
Could be.
Yes.
Very well could be.
And
I've been saying the whole time with her, she's the chess player. Like,
because
something very conniving about her.
Right. And technically Mark Antony was higher in office than Caesar. And Caesar was just kind of manipulating Mark Antony. So I think that maybe he's saying Forrest is Mark Antony, Katie is Caesar, and he needs to like open his eyes to what's happening. And something I found interesting, I looked up Mark Antony's speech at Julius Caesar's funeral. And he says, I've come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. How he opens it.
Yep.
So I thought that was...
Ooh.
I know.
Chilly, cringy.
Very... It makes sense with what's going on in devs right now. So...
Yes. Right, so that whole scene with Stuart and what's going on with Forrest and Katie, like I said, 2 things why I don't know which one it is yet. Determinism or multiverse, because of that. And secondly, because of Lindens' death in that whole scene, right?
Yes.
So, like, they know everything about this day. Katie knew Linden was going to sneak into her car, and they were going to drive to some dam to have a conversation, right? Now, Katie convinces Linden to hang over the ledge of the dam to prove that he is right about the multiverse and Forrest is wrong. She's basically in agreement with Linden at the time that Forrest is wrong. And this is sort of his ticket back into devs.
Right.
Like, if you're so gung-ho about your multiverse theory, why don't you prove it? Hang over this ledge. There are going to be worlds where you fall. There are going to be worlds where you climb back over. In the worlds where you climb back over, you'll be part of the devs team again.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, fuck. Like, what a loop. Totally understands it. Totally understands why he needs to do it. Mm-hmm. He has convinced him. And so he hangs over the ledge, ultimately. And as the scene's playing out with this, by the way, this daunting music the whole time, in the beginning, in the middle, and ending of this episode, we're like on a borderline horror right now. That's kind of how it felt.
Yeah.
On edge. Maybe it's because we were watching it late at night. I don't know. But Linden climbs over the railing, is hanging off the ledge. As it's playing out slow motion, being narrated, you see multiple instances of Linden falling.
Right.
The whole time I'm watching that, never did I think he was actually going to fall. But he does. To his death.
And it looks like the same the outcome was the same every time.
Every time. And that's what I'm saying. So the other instance with Stewart was like, oh, multiverse. And then this happened, and I'm like, he was always going to die. She always had to use that selling point to convince him to get over. So now I'm back on the deterministic side, because if Katie really believed the multiverse theory, like she said to Linden, at that moment, she would not have let him climb over the ledge, because what she's been watching in these simulations the whole time, she knows how this day plays out. Mm-hmm. So to her, dead. If there was any chance that he climbed back over, her whole day would have been fucked up.
Well, I do think that from the beginning, it seems very strongly that Katie believes in the deterministic view.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seems like she is very passionate about that. The way she explains it, the cause and effect. And so, yeah, to me, like, after the fact, like after that happened with Linden, it's like, yeah, she doesn't believe in the multiverse.
No.
At all.
And that's a perfect segue into the next phase of this episode that I wanted to talk about, what you just said, cause and effect, because it's now in the seesaw that I'm on. I'm more leaning toward the deterministic side because of what happens in the rest of the episode. Everything in this show happens for a reason. Everything. And it's so perfectly executed down to nothing is by accident in the show. And that's the point that they're trying to sell you on, which why it's phenomenal. So, like, it gets more cringy looking back, hindsight, at how everything was so perfectly placed. So what happens to Jamie, Lily, Kenton, and the new MVP, Pete?
Yo, Pete's been the MVP though all along.
He has.
I loved him. He reminds me of Outside Dave from New Girl.
So for a second, I was starting to think that we were going to get that cliche ending that Kenton was going to kidnap Lily and bring her back.
Oh, I know. You were saying that, and I was like, God, please no.
Please no, please no. So Kenton's going back to her apartment. You see Pete playing with his little toys or whatever out on the lawn, and in the background, a guy walking with a dad cap. It's obviously Kenton creeping towards her apartment. And Jamie and Lily are there hiding out, thinking that if she just stays home and bums all day, that she's going to blow up their plans with Forrest and Katie, because she's not going to go back to DEVS. So Kenton comes in, puts a few in Jamie with his silenced pistol, kills him. Lily sees it from the bedroom. She fakes going out the window by leaving it open.
Yeah.
Kenton goes by the window. She smacks this dude on the head with a lamp. Kenton, the fucking brute that he is, just eats it, starts choking her out on the bed. Now I'm like, this is going to screw up the DEVS plans even more if Kenton kills her. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then as the scene prolonged, I knew that fucking Pete was going to come. I was about to say it out loud right when he started choking Kenton. Pete, the bum, climbs in through the window, chokes Kenton to death. And where it really gets like, holy fuck, is he says a Russian prayer.
I think he's counting.
Or he's not a prayer. He's counting in Russian.
Make sure he's dead.
To make sure he's dead.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
He's a spy too, Pete.
Holy shit.
What?
Definitely did not see that coming.
What? The bum. I thought it was just, they're in San Fran. There has to be homeless people in there because there's such a big homeless problem in San Fran. So I was like, that's fitting for the environment. Great execution by the team.
I've in my notes throughout the episode, I'm like, I love the homeless guy. Like, he adds a little bit of like comic relief to the super dense show. Like, because he's always kind of funny, like in the scenes that he's in.
It was just, and he explains that he was given orders to watch over Sergey, but then after Sergey died, he was given orders to watch over her, but not protect.
Right.
He was given orders to protect Sergey.
Yes.
And he failed because Sergey got killed. But his orders were not to protect Lily.
Just to watch her.
So he should have let her die.
Right.
Under his orders. But he didn't. He couldn't because he says, I've seen you, your character, the fight that you have in you, blah, blah, blah. He just felt like he had to save her.
Yeah.
Explains to her, listen, I can disappear. Like, I'm Pete, the bum. Nobody knows who I am. I'm gone. You're fucked. My suggestion is get a passport and bail.
Yeah.
Back to China where there's no extradition back to the US. Because there's 2 dead bodies in your apartment. You're screwed. So.
But he says, if you don't want to do that, you can call the CIA.
Yeah, that's
They're the only
people you can talk to.
Yeah, the only people that will understand this, that you can talk to. However, it'll be years and years of interviews and
they're going to interrogate the shit out of her.
Interrogations, yeah.
Yeah, like her life's going to be hell.
Right.
But they'll save her at least from DEVS, basically is what he's saying. Or just from the police.
Police,
yeah. So last week we were saying there's nothing that's going to be convincing enough to get Lily to go back.
Well, I was like, I'm going to be, because our original theory was like, maybe it's Linden. And I said, if it's not Linden and it really is Lily, I need a really compelling story to get her back to DEVS.
And you got it.
And I got it.
So back to the point, I just wanted to outline that what happened in those events again. And I want to go back to why I'm leaning towards the deterministic thing because of how it happens.
Right.
Right. So Jamie is fixing coffee and some water while Lily's making the bed, fixing up the bedroom.
Hey, by the way, I was going to make this comment while we were watching. It was taking her a long ass time to make that bed.
But that's the thing. That's why everything happens for a reason. So looking back at it, If Jamie didn't switch coffee mugs because he pulled out the Sergey one by accident, put it back, or take the extra time to slice Lily a lemon for her water, he would not have been exactly in front of the door when Kenton opened it.
Right.
Which means Lily would not have had that extra second to watch Jamie get shot so that she can open the window, which means that she would have never attacked Kenton, which means Kenton would have never attacked her, which means Pete would have never came in and saved her.
Right.
Let's say Jamie didn't care about the lemon. Let's say he was just like, coffee, fuck the water, fuck the lemon, and just went back to sit in the living room with her. They both would have been sitting there right in Kenton's view. He would have easily just shot both of them.
Right.
Lily doesn't go back to DEVS. But because all those little minute details happen, he was perfectly in the sight to get shot, and she had the perfect angle from the bedroom to see it and had that 1 second time to hide. So because they're purposely showing all that stuff and how it plays out, I'm like, cause and effect, baby. Like,
yes,
there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Cause and effect. Like, it has to be what it is. Is the multiverse thing completely out the window? I don't know. But that's what's so amazing about the show, is that they can keep you guessing all the way till the end. All the way.
And we might not get an answer.
We might
don't
not
have an answer in real life.
We might not. I mean, the way we're going, we probably won't.
Yeah.
It'll probably be open-ended.
Yeah.
But they've managed to keep us guessing this whole time. And even... So the episode does end with cutscene Lily walking back to DEVS and Stuart saying, "Who the hell are you?"
Yeah.
He's like, "I don't think I can turn around." But she's all in on the determinism too.
Yeah, now she is.
But what the fuck can possibly happen to shatter the what is it, the elements of reality or something like that Katie says a couple episodes ago?
Of physics?
Like God knows. And I'm horrified with the way that episode was going. The music, friend. There's going to be a conversation with the three of them that's going to like really make the hair stand up on the back of my neck.
I'm very, very excited. I have no idea. I don't even have any guesses. I really don't even know how they're going to end this show.
No, which is amazing.
No clue.
It's amazing. I cannot wait for tomorrow night.
Yeah. I really don't know. We had some guesses last week, but...
Oh, I did so much research. I thought I had it all figured out. It's just so wrong.
And I love that. I love it.
See, that's the perfect, like, look at my left hand while someone slaps you with their right. Yeah. That's what the show is doing.
Yeah.
It's perfect.